Dear attendees, we welcome you to the Aura SmartEye webinar. In 2 minutes at the scheduled time, we will be starting with the session, waiting for a few more guests to join us. Thank you for being patient and please enjoy this video. Hi everyone, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you on behalf of Moritech. It's a pleasure to be your host today. I am John Yeleti, Business Development Executive working with Moritech, and it's my great pleasure to be your host. And I will be taking you through the journey of Aura SmartEye webinar. The industry experts on this platform will aim at diving into vision AI application that is rapidly becoming a dominant technique. Our speakers for today and subject matter experts in this area are Mr. Jim Crenshaw, Managing Partner and GM Engineering and Business Developer for Metis Energy, and also Mr. Praveen Kola, Vice President, Data Engineering and Data Science from Moritech. Let me give you a brief introduction about Moritech. Established in the year 2005, Moritech has evolved into a trusted global enterprise solution provider to its customers, helping them transform to an intelligent enterprise. Its customer base includes several Fortune 500 companies and from various industries across the globe. As a lead innovator of next-gen AI solutions, it brings Aura Suite.ai to forefront to help business excel in their digital transformation journey. Before we proceed further, there is a quick announcement. As part of this webinar, we will be conducting 2 poll rounds of 30 seconds each before the sessions. 100% participation will be appreciated, and question and answer session is secured towards the end of the webinar. Our attendees are requested to post their queries in Q&A box. Your questions will be addressed towards the end of the session. It's time to move on to see how Moritech Aura SmartEye is modeled to support and secure the digital transformation journey for customers. I'm sure the audience is already excited to know and explore SmartEye applications and more. Before that, let us get into poll round 1. On your screen, you can see a question with multiple answers. Please choose the option which you think best fits it. 100% participation is very much appreciated. We can see that there is 50% participation. You still have some time to go, so please fill in your answers. Thank you for your participation. Your answers are very much appreciated. With this, I invite our speaker, Mr. Praveen Kola, Vice President, Data Engineering and Data Science, Moritech. He is helping organizations with enterprise AI adoption. With his leadership at Moritech, we bring Aura Suite.ai, a suite of enterprise AI solutions to accelerate digital journey for our customers. Over to you, Praveen.
Thank you, John. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Thanks for attending this webinar session. I'm going to give a little bit more deeper insights into our computer vision SaaS offering, which is called Aura SmartEye. This will be followed by a demo. Let me share my screen and we can go right into that. Aura SmartEye, it's a enterprise-grade computer vision software as a solution offering that Moritech is providing. I'll make it very simple to make everybody understand how this solution really helps various organizations to derive meaningful insights that where the management can take decisions right on. First, at a glance, it's a computer vision SaaS platform. We call it as Aura SmartEye, and the way it works is very simple. The cameras are everywhere in your organization, whether it is in your manufacturing process, whether it is in your safety and compliance related processes that you have, or in your warehouses, or in your public safety area, and so on and so forth. The cameras are everywhere. All we are trying to do is make the camera smarter so that they can alert you, they can make you take certain decisions, so they can avoid certain things, and they can prompt you to do certain things. So the way it works is we capture your video footage, understand what that camera is supposed to do, and we have a pre-trained models, AI models, already available in our library, and they span across in various domains, solving various problems. We're going to talk about a little bit more about the use cases in a minute. And the actionable insights that comes as a part of the inferences of these particular AI models can help us to either reduce the violations in your workplace, I would say, with your employees and within your processes, improve the efficiencies in your processes, safety and security, and also improve the product quality. That is what the end result would be for a business users who wants to embark on this journey of computer vision. This is as simple as connect your cameras, tune the system for your use cases, and we can deploy this at your edge, appliances at your edge, meaning at your camera site or at the cloud as needed. Now, there are some out-of-box SmartEye solutions that we have that comes along with this SaaS platform offering, I would say. So one is such workforce monitoring. This is mainly to monitor the workers or the employees' entry and exit, and also understand the line throughput and stoppages and your standard operating procedure completions and so forth. We have models for the quality inspections, especially this is for the manufacturing industries. This is to detect the defects where the humans are spending a lot of time and missing out, the actual, tracking the defects and anything that is not as per your standards. The other one that we have out of the box is the asset tracking. This is mainly to take the inventory counts in your warehouses through, using drone cameras, or tracking the equipment or space utilization, asset allocations, and the movement of the inventory. Everything is a possibility here, irrespective of the industry and irrespective of the vertical that your organization is in. The other important one is the safety and compliance. This is to immediately defect the flag the defects of any unsafe behaviors or safety hazards right away. And also visual search and training. This is another important aspect that many of our customers are taking advantage of the software solutions. And these solutions are not limited to one industry. We have successfully implemented and deployed these solutions for pharma, oil and gas, manufacturing, any manufacturing industry, agricultural, and as well as the food processing. Now, some of the important features of the SmartEye before we go into the demo and start looking at various capabilities. It is easy to set up. You need not to buy very expensive GPU servers or that kind of equipment for you to train the models. That is already, we have it. It's a minimal hardware requirements. You need to have cameras that give a acceptable quality to generate the insights that is required. And most of the things happens in our SaaS platform, the model training and the testing part of it and accuracy calculations and everything happens here. It's a precise because of the library of the models that we have developed over a period of time. And some of these models are actually trained on millions of images already. And I'm going to talk about few use cases, and we are going to transfer that learning to your organization when we come up with this big box of models, AI models in the space of computer vision here. They're already trained on certain aspects right away. And therefore, we guarantee the precision and accuracy of the outcome. It can be very well integrated into the business process. The SmartEye is developed in such a way the inferences can be sent to any systems of as a part of your organizations. For example, in the defect tracking process, the alerts can go and stop the production line, sending an alert to your IoT device or the PLC system. If the defects are so big and if it hits the threshold, it can stop it. And also at the same time, if there is a use case where you want to track all the metrics and send the data to one of your ERP systems, that is very much possible. It is not a standalone solution that we are trying to implement. It is enterprise grade where it can be integrated into your business systems that already have. And it is a cloud and hardware agnostic. All our models and the whole training process that we take that can be deployed in the platform of your choice. It is highly scalable. You can start with 1 or 2 cameras and you can add as many cameras as you want. And zero shot learning. This is something that we take pride in. Most of the organizations are struggling to produce the label data, or they don't have time to explain what is a anomaly in an image and what is a good image. So we have developed a process. We ask our customers, give us the minimum number of images with the minimum explanation. The rest of the things is an anomaly or the deviation. And the zero shot learning is a technique where we apply to develop AI model to understand how to detect certain things which are deviating from what it is already learned. That is a zero shot learning. And besides that, we have in the annotations, we have a smart labeling, which speed up the whole labeling process and makes the data ready for the models to learn. That is one of the important and time-taking and challenging aspect nowadays. Everybody wants to do computer vision projects and solutions to develop the solutions, but the problem is to have that data ready for the models to learn. We have smart labeling techniques that enables that and speed up the whole implementation process, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. And also, So what are the advantages and the business impacts we are seeing as an outcome of this particular solutions that are deployed already with our customers? 20% increase in the employee productivity. These solutions that we are actually deploying, either irrespective of the industry and irrespective of the domain, they're augmenting the humans for the better decision making. And we have therefore the humans who are a part of this whole process, we have seen the increase in productivity of 20%. 5% increase in the product quality. This is another important metric that we are observing with our customers. 100% reduction in the knowledge and skill gaps. The camera is smarter now. The camera is already learned. Even the employees moves to the different organizations, or if there is an attrition that employees are moving to the different companies altogether, the knowledge is retained in the model, and the camera has it um, already trained with certain skills. And the operating cost expenses are very less now because of the automation that is happening in this area, in especially in the asset tracking and optimization of the space utilization. We have seen in certain cases 100% utilization of the spaces. I have a demo that I'll show you in a minute on that part. And finally, safety and compliance. There are certain industries very big on safety and compliances, like refineries, oil and gas, chemical plants, and so on and so forth, where they have heavy machinery, where the worker safety is utmost important for them. By having these smart cameras, the SmartEye solutions, we have seen 5% reduction in the incidents. That is huge. That is huge for certain companies. And these are the overall business impacts we are seeing in the enterprise that we are operating in, deploying these solutions. Now, there is a few use cases I'll quickly show, and then we'll go to the demo. And how we are applying the SmartEye, right? In food industry, the food industry is taking this, the meat processing and meat packaging industry, for instance, they're doing the livestock monitoring, not only just counting the animals, but also identifying any livestock that has illness. As per the Animal Safety Board and Welfare Animal Welfare Board within United States, it is very, very important to track the animals which are not healthy, because that can impact your completely, the food, quality, and and having infection that can be very dangerous. So how do we take care of that with the cameras is something that we already train our models to find that process. So that is one very important use case that has been implemented and deployed. Now the other one is the packaging, and the packaging defects are everywhere, irrespective whether it is a food industry or simply packing the vegetables or even packing the pharma and so on and so forth. Mislabeling, torn packages, distortion, and damaged packages. These are the various problems that we generally see. Trying to identify them right away with a smart camera can save millions of dollars. Even just keep them and aside, and without going into the actual, without reaching to the actual customer. Think about it. Your reputation will go very high. Besides saving the saving the money. Now, within oil and gas, there are the industry in such, and my colleague is going to speak a little bit more about that. There are a lot of safety issues that can occur, heavy machinery that will operate, and we are doing our part with the SmartEye solutions to detect certain things that can avoid millions of dollars of losses. For example, gas emissions, detecting the gas emissions, any leaks, or 24/7 monitoring of certain sites for any hazard materials being emitted from the gas lines, and so on and so forth. These are the in some of the ways the SmartEye solutions are helping various industries. And the other thing that, irrespective which industry you are, monitoring the work sites to detect the violations is very important nowadays. It could be a, some kind of human errors unintentionally, or it could be a recklessness or negligence, lack of using the protective gear, or misuse of any equipment because of lack of training. Any of these can be spotted now with the SmartEye solutions right away, with the very little training. These kind of things we are bringing with the transfer learning, because these models are already learned these kind of unacceptable behavior somewhere else, and those learnings can be transferred into your organizations, can be configured for your area. And uh, and finally, we also have a solution to track the people, the employees, within the within the manufacturing site, or a warehouse of such. Validate the clock ins, clock out, and trying to see where they are spending their time, and also how close they are to a equipment, or they're following certain rules, and so on and so forth. All these things, whatever I showed, already deployed, and they're already in production in with our customers. Now, with that, I'm going to quickly show how this solution works. We take the footage from the customer, or the as per the use case. We label them, train them, and and get the inferences out of the model, and try to see how the models are performing. And then, the once we get the acceptable results, that AI models will be pushed and deployed into the platform of your choice. It could be a edge, meaning it can be, the model can be deployed into the camera itself, make the camera smarter, or the the model can be deployed into a edge appliance where all the cameras are connected, and the inferences can be delivered to your mobile phone, or to your other areas, other mechanisms. The alerts can be delivered in various ways. um, and also, let's go to a quick demo to show you how our application works. What you're seeing on the screen is our Aura SmartEye application. And we have, the way we do this is as a project. A project is nothing but a collection of data, and labeling them, and creating a model out of it, and deploying it. That is the concept of the project, that what we have. So we have various projects. This is for our demo purpose. We have one for manufacturing, another one for the quality, and the other one for the attendance, taking the attendance, whether it is the school, or a university, or for the employees for that matter, asset tracking. And we have one other. There are multiple ways we can apply that. So let me take one. Before, the way it is the way the whole thing works is, first you have to collect the images. Once the images are collected, our team will label them, and create a training data set, and also create a testing data set. Now, the labeling part is where is the laborious and very intensive process, generally in the industry. That is where we focused and make it the smarter, really smarter. So where we can have smart labeling in the picture. So I'll go to the annotation part of it. So when I go to the annotation, so what is happening here is, with the I'll take some models, and we'll say that there are some images which are already labeled. In this case, I'm going to show you in a minute. So this is a mining industry where the crusher is crushing the coal into certain sizes of the pieces. If the if the rocks are bigger of certain threshold, they want to identify. That means that there is something wrong with the crusher. They want to take a look at it, or stop the line. Now, the SME said any rock of this size is medium, any rock of this size is small, and so forth. These are the ones the camera should be looking. So our annotators went and annotated, as you see on the screen, and I'm on the frame 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. The frame 6 has the bigger rocks, it is not annotated. The frame 7 has the bigger rocks, they are not annotated. That is where our smart labeling comes into picture. So let me show you how it works. So I'll take a model and say submit. When I submit, it auto annotation happened, and you see the number of images annotated it already gave. Let's go and see. And you remember there are certain yeah, I would say frames which are not annotated. So I'll go to those frames right away, which are 6 and 7 in my previous. So I'll go to 6. So now the system, these are the on the sixth frame, which were not annotated before. The smart labeling already annotated this with the boundary boxes, and this is the 7. And it not only annotated, it also said this is the big rock, this is small rock. That is the so we embedded AI into the annotation. This is not even AI model. This is just an annotation process, which is a very laborious and time-taking process that industry is suffering. And we have various ways to annotate. We have the boundary boxes, polygons, and other ways to get the data ready. So this itself is getting the training label data sets itself is bigger a problem that we have trying to solve and contributing our part of it. Second thing is the getting the images, and when we collect the images, sometimes we get the images of certain quality, certain lighting, and certain orientation, so forth. But how do you teach the system without asking various lighting conditions, various orientations, and everything? So we have the augmentation. So here we train the models with the different augments, and we have with a different brightness, and we can actually reduce the brightness, increase the brightness, and mimic all kinds of scenarios without asking the actual organization to provide various various types of images, because there could be some cutouts, there could be some noises. We have seen the cameras have the some kind of blurry images comes in, there may be some moisture comes, all these scenarios. When we get the images, it may be in the perfect world, but as we train, this may not be in the perfect world. That is why we mimic with various kind of scenarios without asking, without collecting the images. So this helps the whole process go very fast, and therefore you have that advantage of creating a model which high accurate, and it works, it should work in the real world scenario. That is what is all about smart labeling. The smart labeling is all about creating a data set that model can run. Now coming to the models, we have different library of models. We have one for defects to in any industry, one we have for the facial recognitions. And the way it works is you can select any model, um, uh, and a model method, I would say. And this is, I'm actually having a stone size detection here. And as simple as I will select a model and say submit. Depends upon the number of images and type of the use case, the system will take some time. It might take a few minutes to an hour. And we have a GPU clusters that are running behind the scenes. This is a small data set that is running here, which is creating a model. As you see, we dumbed it down, the whole process, without having the need of a PhD computer vision person trying to figure this out, or a machine learning person trying to create the whole data pipelines and so forth. This is, we dumb it down in such a way. When we dumb it down this way, you will get a speed that is required for the deployment of your projects. So that is how we are approaching it, so that we will get the a better results right away the moment the images. So annotation is faster, model creation is faster, inferences, you would know right away whether how the accuracy is. So that is about the model creation. Now, the models are deployed in the platform of your choice. Next comes the actual problem. How do I manage this? What are the ways to manage my cameras and so forth? That is why we created the device manager. You can connect all your cameras, and it comes with the the status and the location and so on and so forth. We can configure that particular camera in whatever the way you want. You can configure the camera in such a way that the camera can be on or off. Sometimes your production may be not running for forever. It may be running only for 2 shifts. It may be running for a shift. So you can actually schedule it. Okay, when this camera should be getting the footage and the model should be running. This saves a lot of resources. And since this is a SaaS product, you just only pay what is and when is it is required. And another part of that is you can go into that. You can actually see the live inferences when the model when the model is generating that. Besides that, we also have a library. You can always go back and see how the inferences are being generated. Say, for instance, this is, if I don't select a date and time, it always gives me the last batch that is gone. So in this case, this trained model is trying to detect the rocks which are above the threshold. The moment it hits the whatever the number that is, then it will stop the production line right away. So there is a integration directly into the PLC system in this case. The other example that probably I would give in this case is the you know asset tracking. So in here in this case, this is a ship ad, and having any empty spaces is actually loss of revenue here. So this model is detecting the empty spaces and also the movement of this equipment to find any safety and compliance issues. So and these whatever we are seeing here, these are all available directly as a metrics in the analytics, which I'm going to show in a minute. The other thing that this is we implemented for a university where the system will track the attendance. This is not a regular facial recognition. It is having a behavioral analytics also, or behavioral aspects of it. The students can come and go as they please. They need not to stand in front of the camera to take the attendance, or for that matter their presence. As and when the system look at and try to figure this out, it turns green here. That means it takes the kind of attendance right away. So this is the one of the successfully implemented model that we have done. And and at the same time we also have other quality control aspects of it. This is basically tracking certain objects on the shop floor, or the your manufacturing conveyor belt, to find the quality control as we go. And we have the analytics, and these analytics are the important piece, aspect of it. How the system is calculating certain things, counting certain things, or finding the defects, or finding the safety violations, and so forth. And it can give the nice looking reports and dashboards, and these are limitless. We can configure any number of reports that are needed. We can configure the alerts, and we can actually notify before a event is occurring, or while it is happening. Everything happens in certain cases milliseconds in some high speed manufacturing process. That is the enterprise grade monitoring. Once the models are deployed, so we thought through not only the model creation process, the AI model creation process. We have thought through the deployment process to seamless, platform agnostic. Once they are deployed, we are also giving enterprise grade portal where you can manage your devices, monitor them, configure them, and make them, beneficial, and give and achieve that ROI that you're looking for. And thanks, for listening to me and going through this demo. I will hand over to John to take care of the rest of the webinar.
Thank you, Praveen, for taking us through the demo of Aura SmartEye. It's so exciting to get a glimpse as to how the future of our industry looks like. I know that today's topic may bring up a lot of questions, and we will address as many as we can towards the end of the session. So feel free to post your questions in the Q&A box for the panelists. Before I welcome our next speaker, I would like to take another poll, and here you go. Please go through the questions and answer whatever you think that best fits it. 100% participation is very much appreciated. We can see that there is 50% participation. You still have some time to go, so please fill in your answers before it is shut. We can now see that there is 80% participation. Few more seconds before we close it. So feel free to share your opinion with us. Ten more seconds to go. Thank you for your participation and sharing your opinion with us. With this, I invite our guest speaker, Mr. Jim Crenshaw from Metis Energy, who carries an extensive global experience in implementing technology solutions and establishing a successful business in the upstream oil and gas service industry. He carries a strong international experience on operations, technology implementations, international market entry, M&A integration, business and organizational strategy, and planning. He will be taking us through the importance of computer vision in oil and gas sector. Mr. Jim, over to you.
Well, thank you, John. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, or good afternoon. I would like to thank MauryTech for sponsoring this session today. And John, thank you for the kind introduction. Let me start my video here. And I'm going to do some screen share. Just a moment, please. All right, so hopefully everyone can see my screen clearly. Well, I've spent the majority of my career in the upstream oil and gas industry, and as John said, building operations around the globe and developing and commercializing technologies, primarily for the drilling and completions activities. Technology has played a key role as we've expanded our global presence in oil and gas, and in doing so in a much more efficient and safer manner. Technology has been responsible for revolutionizing our industry many times over and has been a key success in companies both large and small. I've had the privilege of working in Fortune 100 companies, and now I'm operating our own independent oil and gas operator company. As we look at technologies, we have to look at all the headwinds that we're facing as industries first. And like many of the other industries that are represented on the call today, it's the smart application of technology solutions that will carry us forward. We're facing many of the same headwinds in the oil and gas industry as you are in many of the industries online today, that we need to become more socially responsible corporate citizens, better stewards of our environment, and provide challenging opportunities for many of our employees. So we're faced with facing methods for improving the impact on our return on investments, mitigating our risk, and in the oil and gas industry especially, protecting our environment and complying with the many policies. In other words, we've got to learn how to work smarter. We have many headwinds that were touched on earlier in terms of the knowledge drain that we're seeing in our industry. How do we retain that human capital? How do we apply technology to ensure continuity? How do we ensure a safer work environment, minimizing our risk while we're facing these headwinds as industries? As an executive in either a Fortune 100 or your own private company, we were looking at technology solutions to solve many of our challenges. Regardless of the industry we're in, we have certain commonalities in our technology solutions. First and foremost, we want to improve our operating efficiencies as a company, reducing expenses, eliminating unnecessary expenses, reducing variation in our critical processes, and finding technology solutions that will have immediate impact in our organizations. On the human-machine interface, applying technology hopefully to modify and improve human behavior, improve employee efficiency. And I want to go back to one of the slides that my colleague Praveen had presented. It shows a dramatic improvement in employee productivity applying the SmartEye solution. We want to improve our business return on investments, and very importantly, develop a health, safety, and environmental culture that eliminates risk, brings our employees home safely each and every day, and provides a protection for our environment. This is particularly critical in our oil and gas industry. So as we like to say, we want it done better, faster, and cheaper. So I'd like to give you some specific insight into how we're applying the SmartEye technology into oil and gas. So if you'll bear with me, I'd like to set the stage on how we've applied this in a drilling environment and give you an understanding of some of the risk that we're mitigating and the potential cost savings that we're bringing along with this. So let me set the stage. A drilling rig is a very large capital investment, and the daily rate for operating these rigs, securing the supply line, developing all the support infrastructure, we're looking at about $1.8 million per day being spent on an offshore drilling rig. That works out to about $75,000 an hour. So minutes mean profit to the bottom line. Yet at the same time, cutting corners or not paying attention to process can be catastrophic. And I'll show you some examples. On an onshore rig, drilling, it's a bit less, obviously, but still every hour is a very costly venture in the drilling industry. So the drilling personnel on the rig are charged with protecting the rig, protecting the personnel on the rig, protecting the environment. This includes many of the support infrastructures where capital investments are reaching into the hundreds of millions of dollars. We have many other types of risk that our employees are exposed to. You have high pressure, corrosive liquids. It is a dangerous environment. So having the ability to detect human movement, unsafe acts, improper use of personal protective equipment, identifying hazards early before they become a high risk, it's critical to the health, safety, and environment of our people and workers. You can see additional photos of some of the daily risk that we're encountering in the oil and gas industry. So I'd like to give you an idea of the application and use case for SmartEye. And I'm going to drill in a little bit, no pun intended, into some operations on a drilling rig. I'm going to show you a video where something as simple as size detection on drill bit cuttings or returns from the drilling of a well, and monitoring these sizes, very similar to the rock crush video that my colleague went through earlier. If we can monitor these on a drilling rig, we're able to detect pressure imbalances down in the wellbore before they become a problem. So I'm going to show you now a device that's common on every drilling rig around the world. Bear with me a moment. This is a shale shaker, and you can see here on the screen, hopefully the video is running. Ladies and gentlemen, bear with me a moment. Our screen seems to have frozen. So what we're showing here is cuttings coming over a shale shaker. These are returns from the bottom of the well as we're drilling the well. And the ability to identify any variation in size would give us an early warning of any pressure imbalances in the wellbore. So very similar to the rock crush detection size, if we can detect these changes in cutting sizes early on, which SmartEye gives us the ability to do, we can avoid very catastrophic events that can occur from this pressure imbalance. Let me show you another video. Hopefully this one works more effectively. What we're seeing here is the result of this pressure imbalance on a drilling rig. Here we've had a blowout, which is a common term. Many of you are also familiar with the Deepwater Horizon blowout that occurred in the Gulf of Mexico. Catastrophic event. And something so simple as monitoring these cuttings and detecting this variation in cutting size early can prevent this kind of catastrophe. That's what I would call a very high impact solution. We have many other applications in the oil and gas industry. This is one that is just got a tremendous high impact. So let's look at another use case, corrosion. Corrosion affects almost every industry around the world. Anywhere where we're utilizing metals out in a saltwater environment, or we're moving corrosive liquids or gases through metals, we have corrosion. What we're looking for in our corrosion is utilizing the same basic methods for detection and classification, whether it be the oil and gas or mining or food services industries, manufacturing. Corrosion is something that impacts our industries significantly. In the oil and gas industry alone, we're spending almost $1.3 billion yearly on detection and mitigation of corrosion activities. So regardless of the industry that we're working in, we use the same methodologies for detection and classification. And this detection and classification is typically done on all types of metals, but it's done with the typical manual human intervention, where we're dependent on trained humans having a consistent approach to detection and verification of corrosion issues. Now, going employee to employee, levels of skill are varying. Standardization of results is very difficult to obtain. Now, with the application of our Aura SmartEye, either in a drone or handheld, we're able to solidify the learnings that occur, establish algorithms that improve our image quality and ability for prediction of corrosion in any types of metals. As Praveen had pointed out, the ability to take just a few images and quickly develop the AI learning algorithms is a critical success factor of our smart vision. Utilizing this current approach with AI, we're able to detect early, we're able to very quickly build trends and identify, both from a corrosive detection and mitigation perspective, but also we can drive design changes where we see repeated patterns of corrosion developing. Many applications for the development and utilization of SmartEye across corrosion detection prevention, oil and gas applications. In a refining environment, we have tremendous benefits in all aspects of this, both from the ability to detect and prevent unsafe acts from our employees, detect leaks and potential hazards before they become catastrophic, and doing so with a technology that is very simple to implement. It's easy to set up, easy to integrate into our existing systems, yet has tremendous high impact in terms of risk mitigation. I'd call that an ideal technology with simplicity yet high impact. It allows us to identify those KPIs, key performance indicators in our business that need tracking and have immediate impact on this. So as an executive and owner, this is an easy sell into the organization. So this is just a couple of the use cases, and I'd like to thank you for your time this morning, and I look forward to seeing this being adopted on a much broader scale. John, thank you. I'll turn this back over to you.
Thank you, Jim, for providing us with your insight on the effectiveness of computer vision in oil and gas sector. It's better to be early than late. Leveraging AI and ML techniques into this area can help organizations gain a better customer experience. Without any further delay, we can get into the Q&A. So here is the first question, and this is to you, Praveen. How to add large videos or images for training?
Thanks, John. There are a couple of ways to do it. Actually, I would say there are three ways to do it. One is we can collect the videos from your local drives or wherever the local storage is, directly we can connect and upload into our cloud storage. The other one is actually, especially for the larger data sets, we can actually have a edge storage, path can be mount, and we can actually, upload or take the videos right away from there, or using any URLs, public URLs of the video images that you can expose through your VPN for a certain period of time. There are various ways to do it, and we have found the cloud or edge storage, path, mounting that is a easy way to get the your images to our area of to do the annotations and doing further activity on it.
Thank you, Praveen, for that apt answer. The next question is for you, Praveen. Can I export annotations outside SmartEye?
Yes, we have annotation as a service we are offering. Many organizations are approaching us saying that they want to take advantage of the smart labeling as a part of our SmartEye features or capability. So what we are doing is we are using that our annotation as service. We are annotating their millions of images, and with a certain accuracy that we as per the SLA, and sending that annotated file back to them so that they can take it and use it to train their own models with their own data science team as needed. So to answer your question, yes, the data that is annotated can be exported outside the SmartEye, and you can use it to train your own models, and that could be your own IP that you don't want to expose to your partners. That is very much a possibility, and that is what we are helping certain organizations to by offering the service.
Moving to our next question, and this is directed towards you, Praveen. Does SmartEye support image segmentation?
Absolutely. The SmartEye supports, the classification, detection, image segmentation, and actually in annotation as a service, we are also doing the classification of certain things. Say, for example, you gave us like 1 million images, say for instance, and for lack of a better example, these 1 million images as cats and dogs. And you just want to classify them before we annotate and give it to you. Now the question is, if I am already identifying what is the benefit I am getting, that is the question generally people ask. But the answer is the image is not just the cat image or the dog image. The cat is one of the objects in that whole image. That can be in your backyard, that can be in your park or somewhere else. Identifying that, classifying and giving it is one of the capability of the feature that the SmartEye has. So to answer your question, yes, we have the classification as a part of the annotation as a service, and we are offering that capability whoever wants to take advantage of.
Thank you for your answer. The next question is for you, Praveen, again. How can I export a trained model outside Smarter?
SmartEye. So the train model, how do you export? That is part of the deployment. Depends upon your type of the deployment. You want to deploy it on a camera or the edge appliance. So we have various ways. It can be on the TensorFlow PyTorch framework, where the model can be pushed after dockerizing it, containerizing it, and having the endpoints to your place. So there are multiple ways to do it, and it depends upon how the deployment mechanism goes based on your needs. We have various options that we can
Thanks for
implement.
your answer, Praveen. Let's look at the next question. What is smart labeling feature?
As I was showing in the demo, the smart labeling feature is actually the system is labeling without human intervention. So basically, as I was saying, that before you make a model precise and accurate to give the inferences or the insights, it has to be trained, and it has to be trained with the labeled data. Now, there is a lot of advancements happens, what models to be used, and there is a lot of contribution also happen from everyone, like either it is an open source community or a Tesla or a Facebook or from Intel, from Deepstream, and there's a lot of contribution everywhere. But the problem is having the data from your industry to make use of that. Now, the smart label comes, the smart label feature of the SmartEye comes. If I have, a millions of images, and if that has to be trained, so we create a simple base model with human intervention, how to identify certain things. We make a boundary box with it, or a polygon if the images are not proper in shape, or some kind of other techniques that we have as a part of the smart labeling offering. And we create a base model. And that base model will help to do the rest of annotation of the rest of millions of images on its own. So what is that means is, even the annotation which was done with the army of people in the past, we are automating it with AI. That is the data, that is the important feature of the SmartEye. And it's all about the speed and accuracy of the producing the labeled image, that in organizations can take it further and train their AI models with their framework or the platform of their choice. So this is one of the important and a very striking feature that we are excelling in this area.
Thank you for your answer. Here is the next question. Can I connect existing cameras to SmartEye?
Exactly. So the existing cameras, as long as they meet the criteria, depends upon the problem that you are solving. We probably need the footage to be in certain certain resolution and certain quality. As long as your existing cameras have that that prerequisites met, then we can take that video footage and start training the model, labeling it, and to start training the model. And obviously the question will come, how the camera becomes smarter if that is not a smart camera, in the sense it doesn't have a CPU or a GPU in it. That is where the edge appliance, you can buy a edge appliance. There are many options from various hardware vendors. A simple edge appliance, you can deploy it, or you can install it on your premise and connect all your existing cameras there. And they should be IP cameras, for instance. And then the models can sit in this edge appliance instead of each camera. So there are various deployment options here. So there are certain areas where you can minimize your investment, just use your existing cameras and then edge appliance. And sometimes maybe you may need to go with a proper network camera with all the bells and whistles. So we evaluate as a part of the use case, and we always try to minimize your investment. Try to see how we can take your investment that you already made.
Thank you for your answer. Let's look at our next question. I don't have recorded videos or images to upload, but network cameras. Should I save it and then upload?
That's a very good question, and that is why, to answer this, we created this device manager, as a part of the SmartEye. Since it is a network camera, we can connect the network camera directly into the SmartEye app, and we can record it on your behalf. So if you don't have the historical footage, and if you have to take the footage live and create the history from there, as simple as we have to connect your camera into the SmartEye app and start, taking collecting the videos from there, and without you going through, storing all these and sending it to us and so forth.
Thank you for your answer. This is our final question, and this is directed towards you, Praveen. How do I quantify the use cases after deployment?
Very good question. And the way we do it is we created the analytics portal within the SmartEye. So each use case produce or generate different insights. Some insights maybe needs to be instantaneously consumed. So we send them as an alerts or some kind of notifications, either to a machine or to a person to take action right away. The machine can stop if something is going wrong, or send an alert if there is any kind of safety issues that we have seen. We are seeing it. The camera is notifying it. We send alerts. Now, there are many use cases. They want to go back historically to analyze what happened. For example, defect detections or safety incidents. They want to see how many safety incidents occurred year to date or in this month, or how many defects that system has been notifying it, to understand where they stand in their manufacturing process. So all these inferences and the insights that are being generated, we have a capability to generate dashboards and reports in the analytics portal, and this can be highly configurable. And the people who are taking the decisions, they can always go back and run these reports and dashboards and find out how this particular process is being done. It is nothing to do with the SmartEye camera. It's just the SmartEye or the solution. It is to understand the insights being generated and take actions, whether it is process related or whether it is some behavioral issues or anything that you want to improve based on this analytics. That is a feature that is already available.
Thank you, Jim and Praveen, for those insightful answers, which have shed light to a lot of queries asked by our attendees. We have tried answering all the questions, but you can still reach out to us at enquiry@moritech.com for further queries. You will find our LinkedIn page in the chat box. Do like the page and stay updated. Thank you so much for giving us your time and attending our session on Aura SmartEye. And if you have any other queries, we'll sure get back to you. Thank you again and have a great day and evening ahead.